and Happy New Year. I'm so happy you're tuning in to Good News on Entertainment tonight. I'm your host, Carley. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce you to a special guest. Natalie Southward is an incredible woman of God with an amazing testimony. We're going to be talking about her brand new book. I believe this book and her words of wisdom can be life-changing for anyone who is walking into this new year with any type of grief in their life. But first, I want to start tonight with talking faith and football. As most of you know, we are just days away from the 2026 College National Championship game. But tonight, I want to rewind to last year's College National Championship game and the Ohio State Buckeyes' incredible season. Yes, they won the championship game last year, but just as exciting, in fact, I think even more exciting, was what was happening off the field and how many of the players were stepping out in faith and following Jesus like never before. The best part is you can relive the journey with them and get a front row seat to what was happening by watching a documentary that follows the team's faith journey during the 2024 season. It's called Redemption, and you can watch it on the Wonder Project streaming app, which you can find on Prime Video. In just a moment, you're going to hear from one of the filmmakers who, by the way, was not even a filmmaker to begin with, but just knew that her and her husband had to capture what God was doing behind the scenes. But first, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Redemption.
Such a busy time when everything's about them, they're making it about him.
Ohio State is a very unique job. As a coach and as a player, you better be the best at what you do.
You know, you're playing for one of the premier schools in college football history, and you can feel it.
Walking into the shoe, you really got to go hard, or you're going to get exposed.
There are a lot of places you can go. You know, life's a little more comfortable. If you're into comfort, this is a bad place to be.
This team has all the ingredients you need to win a national championship.
Obviously, you look at Ohio State. Is that the best roster money
You got
can
a veteran
buy?
quarterback. You've got more talent than anybody else in the world. It was win the national championship or else.
That weight and the pressure, if not handled right, it can be crippling.
This year's very different with the extended playoff.
The hype in so many different teams just felt open.
We wanted to beat the team up north, go to the Big Ten championship, and then win a national championship.
Michigan will defeat Ohio State.
In that moment, I truly had to exercise my faith.
You know, we had a choice. We can continue to trust God, or, you know, we could go back to the team we used to be.
To win it all, I mean, they have a hard path, and every single game they have in this playoff is a shot at redemption.
It's a story that only the Lord could have written. We knew it was going to be something that was bigger than football, something that was bigger than all of this.
For all of those who has been changed on this team, it has not been a result of a football game. It's been by the glorious strength of the Lord Jesus Christ.
All right. I love that it's ladies talking about football and this wonder. I am so excited for people to see this series. I absolutely loved it. And I'm so fascinated that you and your husband were not even like filmmakers, but you guys had this idea because this sounds like something I would do. Like, we need to get this captured. We need to document this. So take me to the beginning. How did this all work?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love it too. I'm excited for this conversation. We go to a church called One Church, local to our city in Columbus, Ohio. And one of the players, G. Scott Jr., who played on the 2024 team, he spoke, shared his testimony, and he was talking about the faith of the players on the team. And when we left that, my husband and I both, we love documentaries, but we were kind of watching documentaries at the time. And then when we got in the car, we were like, wow, it would be so cool to watch a documentary, but about more than football, about the faith of the men on this team, and it's happening in our city. And so, you know, we were kind of joking, like, what if we did it? And then the joke never really ended, and we kind of were like, maybe we could do it. And so after some phone calls, we found the right people, put them in the right places, and started filming August of 2024.
Well, and that's what I want, like the quality, the footage that you guys have captured along the way. And of course, there's all these great interviews that's looking back on it as well. Mm-hmm. But it really does follow this story, I feel like, in real time, which is so cool. And I know it's a God thing, right? Like, I think this was meant to be played, obviously, on a bigger scale from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I think that's why people ask us, like, oh, did you do this because they won the national championship? And at the time we started, we had no idea this would all, accumulate in a national championship. And there's a line in the docuseries where Xavier Johnson, a former player, says, "This is the story only the Lord could have written." And as we went through the season and started capturing and got to the end, we kind of looked back and thought, wow, this is not a story we could have came up with. It's definitely only one he could have written.
Well, and as a mom and as a mom of a young athlete, it's this fine line that we're always, balancing. My husband's a coach. He coaches our son's baseball team. And it's like we see the good of what sports does, I think, for youth. But you never want to cross that line of making it, become an idol to them. But I see the benefits of the other side. Again, it's this delicate balance. And that's what I just feel like families, people who love football, moms that don't even know anything about football or care about football. I mean, this is such a story that I think is going to touch all audiences.
Yeah. And we've definitely found that to be true. I think one of our favorite things since it's come out is hearing how people are connecting with different parts of it. Obviously, the diehard Buckeyes fan, like they love getting to hear a little bit about the program. But then there are also everyday people who there's a scene with a cop with one of the testimonies, and we've had cops reach out and say, I so resonated with that portion and it's changed the way I'm doing my job. And so it's so cool. Everyone's kind of connecting with a different piece of the docuseries.
Oh, I love that. So for you and your husband personally, obviously this is your first project. Is there anything from here? I don't know. Does this put you guys on a separate track? What is God going to do through this for you guys, do you think?
Really, who knows? My background's in marketing. His background is in tech. We still kind of have our day jobs, but definitely after doing a project like this, our wheels are turning. And so we keep our eye out for the next one. We'll see what comes up, but we would love to do another one.
And talk about the Tim Tebow Foundation, and a part of this is going to help his foundation as well. So tell me more about that and how that works. And I think for this to even get picked up by the Wonder Project, it's such a good match. Tell me a little bit about the inner workings there, and what viewers, I think are going to be thankful to know.
The pieces really did fall into place. We had a relationship with the Tim Tebow Foundation and employees there. And so we actually went down to Jacksonville when the docuseries was just an idea. And we sat in a boardroom with Tim and a few others, and we were kind of, discussing what this could look like. And fun fact, a little insider information, Tim actually came up with the name Redemption for the docuseries. He said it in the room and we all kind of looked at each other like, I think that's it. So that was really special. But the Tim Tebow Foundation does incredible work. And they're so good with partnering with different industries, obviously entertainment now. And so Tim's also in the film, and who better to connect football and faith than Tim Tebow himself. And so it's been a joy to work with them. And then landing on the Wonder Project, that also is such a reflection of the values that we have, the values that come out in the docuseries. Their whole goal is to promote films that bring hope and light to the world. And so we're so thankful for that partnership.
Obviously you're there in Columbus. The church is kind of, that was maybe the little epicenter, I think, of where this began for some of the guys. And then it grew from there. Talk about what it's done for your church and the community, the surrounding community.
So I think something interesting is when we started interviewing people for the docuseries, we realized that this faith movement actually started years and years ago. There was actually a team, I want to say early 2000s, who experienced kind of a revival event on campus. And there's been professors praying for revival at Ohio State. And I don't know if you know Master Teague, he's also in the docuseries. He was kind of a lone player on the team that was strong in his faith, but didn't have many people with him. And so to kind of hear the full story, and all of these interviews obviously didn't make it in the final cut, but knowing that this has been kind of a string of faith that's been working a long time, and then kind of culminated into last year where there's been Run with Christ. It's kind of a run club that started in Columbus and is now breaking out in different cities. There's Bible studies happening, worship nights in public spaces. So I really feel like it's just been a trickle effect, and it's been awesome to see what's come of it this year.
Tell me about the football players too. Obviously there's one that we love that came here to the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm in Tampa, so I love me some Emeka.
But talk about the other players, and one in particular, G. I mean, his story really is what started it for you too when he shared his testimony.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of our conversation, he's not necessarily playing. We don't know what God is going to do. But have you had a chance to check in with him? I mean, you can't help but watch and go, God is doing something big. Like his story is not finished yet, football or not.
Agreed. Yeah, that's such a great way to put it. I would say for all the players too, it's one thing to see them play on the field, and it's another thing to see them in the documentary, but it's also another thing to kind of get the third eye and see them in real life and get to know them. And I will just say for each of them, they're more genuine even than they come across. They are such good men, very rooted in their faith and so sincere throughout this whole process, just continuing to want to make it about what God has done and not what they have done. And so that was encouraging even to someone behind the camera to see. But yeah, we're so excited for G. I mean, wherever he lands, we know people are going to be blessed by him. He was actually just full circle moment, came back to our church and did a panel with our pastor. And so it was really fun because the last time he was on the stage is when we got the idea for this. And so to see him presenting the gospel in such a wholesome way, he's definitely gifted at. So whether he's on the field or behind the pulpit, I have no doubt he's going to be changing lives.
Well, I'll give you the last word here. What do you hope people take away from this documentary, and maybe what God has taught you along the way, as well?
Yeah. I hope people know that it's never too late to change your life. I think, we kind of go through some stuff, and at times you can think I'm too far gone, but even it's been encouraging to get testimonies back from people later in life that watch this and realize that it's never too far to turn to Jesus. So I hope people get a good glimpse of that through this docuseries.
Yeah. And then how have you seen God showed up, along the way here?
Yeah, I think just knowing that we need to depend on him. Not being a filmmaker and making a film is a very interesting journey. And I think he met me in my weaknesses so many times, enough to remind me that you truly can do anything as long as you're doing it with him, right? And so that definitely refined my faith.
Well, God bless you and your husband. Again, I think there's a lot more here. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of different directions that we can take this. So I just really appreciate it. I'm so glad that God gave you that, inkling of, hey, we need to capture this. It's going to bless a lot of people.
Thank you. So grateful. Thanks for taking the time to chat.
For all of those who has been changed on this team, it has not been a result of a football game. It's been by the glorious strength of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's so good. Again, you can watch the 3-part docuseries on the Wonder Project app, which you can find on Prime Video. And by the way, the Wonder Project has a lot of fun new TV shows and movies planned for 2026. So stay tuned, and we're going to keep you posted on what's ahead as well. But now let's turn to my next guest, Natalie Southward. Natalie is a licensed mental health counselor. She travels to different events and churches, sharing her testimony. She can talk on a whole variety of topics, but today we are going to focus on grief. That's because a brand new book is called Let's Do Grief Together. Natalie, I'm so excited I could get you in studio. And full disclosure, we've been friends for a long time as well. So I've just had this front row seat of seeing how God has used you, continues to use you. But tell people before we get into the book, because you really do have all this experience, and I'm just so glad that you've written it down. So tell people a little bit more about what it is that you do on the day-to-day, because you travel a lot as well. But
yes, so I'm a licensed mental health therapist. I'm the founder and director of Life Transformation Counseling. I have over 20 years experience in the field. I'm a certified clinical trauma professional and a certified grief specialist, and I'm a brain spotting practitioner. So I specialize in grief and trauma, and for me, it is just my passion to be able to sit with people, to partner with their pain, to walk alongside them, to be the hands and feet of Jesus, right? And being able to see people where they're at and to meet them in that place, right? And just be authentic. And so that's what I do. I love speaking engagements, and the Lord called me to write a book and to put it all into this book, which is interactive. So I'm really excited to just honor what God has done and continues to do in my life.
Yes. And why grief? Because again, for as long as I've known you, and I know you speak at different churches, that's not always been the center. Why grief? Why this? There's a number of different things. Maybe there's more books to come later, but why start with grief?
So grief is universal, right? And so when people hear grief, they think a loss of a loved one. The reality is grief is loss. Loss is grief. And so every single person, there's 8.4 billion people in the world, has experienced a loss of some sort in their world. And so to understand what grief is, a lot of people don't even know they're grieving and they're judging themselves versus the fact of honoring and recognizing the loss that they've experienced and learning how to live with it. And so really just to empower the grievers, right? To educate people on what grief is, and to really pour out onto these pages support for others that might not have access to therapy. So I say it's therapy in a book, right? Everybody has access to a book. However, not everybody has access to therapy. And so to be able to partner with and to walk alongside people through the pages. And grief is lonely.
Well, and let's talk about it, because honestly, when you said, hey, I'm doing a book on grief, I thought, okay, great, like I want to help support it and whatever, but I haven't lost somebody, you know, recently, or I didn't think I was in that stage. But all of a sudden you start looking at what we can grieve in life. And man, all of a sudden you read these pages and you're like, oh, this hits home. I mean, for example, is you can grieve, you know, a pet, you can grieve friends, you can grieve your childhood, a career. You know, explain what, again, grief is and what you're looking to help people walk through.
So grief is the experience of loss, right? So loss ushers in grief. So we've known each other a very long time. Well, we can grieve our youth, we can grieve our childhood, we can grieve our innocence, we can grieve relationships that are estranged, right? It's loss. There is psychological and emotional impact that loss brings into our life. And so that's what grief is. Grief is something that you have lost or missed. It could be your health, it could be retirement, it can be physical ailment, it can be an age, a stage of life, you know, and as you mentioned, pet loss, moving, there's grief in that. So there's so many different layers to grief. And so to be able to expound on, it's not just the loss of a life, which is significant in and of itself. However, grief, there's layers. And a lot of times people don't realize I'm actually grieving, or I never grieved that part of me.
Well, that's what I was going to say. How do you, I think probably a lot of us are going through that. Maybe it's been labeled depression or anxiety or whatever the case may be. How do you know that you're maybe dealing with some things that just have not been dealt with before, not had a label on it?
So a lot of times, if what you've been through in life, if it gets brought up, if the topic gets brought up, if you see something that resembles that part of your past and it triggers you, you have a physical, psychological sensation go through your body, those are warning signs. I believe God created us with a warning system, right? With an alarm system within our bodies. And so we have to tune in to the Holy Spirit. We have to be aware of our body and what it's signaling to say, hey, warning, warning, something's going on. There might be something that triggers me that doesn't trigger you, but it might be attached to something I've been through that maybe I didn't deal with. As I wrote the book, there were some illustrations and examples that came up that I believed God had healed me from, but there were deeper layers He wanted to bring beautiful healing to. And I didn't even realize that until I started writing, talking about it, and really just bringing in the Holy Spirit to say, what area, Lord, do I still need deeper healing?
Well, and I love that you invite God, not invite God, I mean, He's here, but, you know, I think so many times when we are dealing with loss or grief or whatever the case may be, it's just the therapy part alone. But if you're missing the gospel and you're missing, I mean, it's, I don't know how people do it without, I don't know how people do life without God and without Jesus. So I'm just fascinated, you know, and just so thankful that you were sharing that as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it, because I say life is hard. I don't know how people do it without the Lord, because I struggle in life at times and I have the Lord. And I think, thank God He is my anchor. Right? And so I just want to be that voice to kind of whet people's appetite, to bring forth some curiosity. Like grief, we get grief, but maybe they don't get God. Maybe they don't know God, but they're going to find Him in these pages, because He's going to meet you right where you are, because that's what He always does. He meets us right where we're at, in our pain, in our suffering, or even in our celebration.
What are some misconceptions about grief, do you think? I don't know, like anytime I've ever heard about grief, you think the 5 stages, and we know that we can kind of mix them up. They don't have to go in order, but what say you maybe on some of the biggest misconceptions?
So misconception one is, do I have grief, right? I only grieve the loss of a loved one. No, grief, as we kind of elaborated on, it can spread wild, right? So the other misconception is the 5 stages. A lot of times people think grief is linear. It's step 1, step 2, you get through the 5 stages and you're good. But the reality is grief is like a wave. It comes in, and sometimes you can stand steady against a wave. You feel it, kind of rocks you a little bit. Then other times it comes in like a tsunami and it knocks you out. And so a lot of times people think it's linear, but it's not. It comes in different stages, which are the 5 stages. But what people don't realize is there's a 6th stage, and it is considered the forgotten stage of grief, which is meaning making. And to me, as a believer, it is the most important stage for me, because I look to God to make meaning out of the pain, to make meaning out of the loss. He has to, because God cannot deviate from his character. And so I know I lean into that meaning making because I trust him and I know he is good. And so no matter the stage, and I can go through denial and I can move towards acceptance, and then I can come back to anger. It doesn't mean I haven't grieved well. It means I'm going through the stages, because now I'm going from grief to mourning. And a lot of times people combined both grief and mourning. They think they're the same thing. So that's the 3rd misconception.
It's so interesting, too, when you talk about the gospel with dealing this as well, because we hear this all the time of God can bring purpose to your pain, but it's not that he causes the pain, you know, which I think some people struggle with, where we're blaming, you know, God for allowing this to happen. What say you? I mean, that's a hard, it's a hard thing to digest sometimes on how, and we're not going to have it all figured out, right?
On
this side
100%. On this side of eternity. On this side of heaven, we aren't going to figure it out. But the reality is that's part of relationship with God, is wrestling it out. I mean, it's one of the chapters, wrestling with your faith, right? God says, come now, let us argue this out, declares the Lord. That's in scripture. Come argue it out. He's a big God. He wants to hear our heart. He wants to hear the wrestle. And in the wrestling, there is a building, right? Building a strength and a bond with the Lord that can never be broken. And so when people say, well, God did this and he caused this. Well, he allows things or he ordains things to happen, but he meets us in it and he never abandons us. So we're not alone. It's not a test from the Lord to see, let's see how Carley works through this today. No, he's like, let's work through this together. Let's do this together. And we're not abandoned and we're not alone. But I trust him and he's good, and I have to trust that he sees big picture, which I know he does, and he sees the other side of heaven, right? So he's got our back in this, and we're not alone in this. And so
when I love that's the title of the book, Let's Do Grief Together, because it's also that is where God will walk through with you. And then too, you look at Jesus's life and you go, he did know grief. Like if anyone's going to understand pain and grief,
Jesus. Jesus is going to understand it.
You know, and so he can be the one to sit with you through that. So what's your hope, or you know, I always love, especially here at the beginning of the year, I think maybe, you know, again, people aren't really realizing maybe what they're walking through or what they need to kind of deal with. What is your hope? I've seen God work in your life. You know, I just want you to offer hope for people that may be struggling.
So my hope is that people will experience the Lord, that they will not feel alone in this, that they know that it is not only on them to get through. I want people to know that there is healing, that they can grow through their grief, that they're seen. Their grief is important. What they're experiencing matters. They matter. And that what they're walking through, their emotions and feelings do not get to have the final say. I always say,
thank goodness we don't have
to. I'm like,
let our emotions drive.
Yeah, thank God. I say grief does not get to have the final say in my life. Grief has taken a lot from me. It has removed things from my life. It has created some pain and deep losses, but it doesn't have the final say. God has the final say. And because of my God-given free will and the choices I can make to be able to partner with others, to be able to put a voice to my pain, to be able to sit in a room and share with other women and other men and really just speak hope and life, that's what it's about. It's knowing that we aren't alone, right? Because the enemy wants us to believe that this is unique, that we are not relatable. Nobody can relate to your pain. But the reality is, yes, the pain you're going through is unique to you, but we can partner in pain and have each other's back and be support. And so my hope is that you don't feel alone, that you feel motivated, that you feel encouraged, that you feel seen and supported, and that you allow God to meet you right where you're at in your grief, because he's there. And all he's looking for you to do is to reach out and be authentic in your pain. And that's my hope.
Yeah, I know you're gonna give it. The great thing about this book too is there's so many like take home tangible things that are part of this. Like, and again, maybe you don't, it's hard to find, a mental health counselor or therapist. I mean, and especially a Christian one as well. So if you don't have one in your area or if you're needing help now, this is a good way to do this. There is legitimate things that you can start doing today. I love this. Talk about why that was important real quick.
So important, because for me, again, therapy is not accessible to everyone. However, a book is. And so there are counseling tools in here. There are therapeutic resources, there's mindfulness activities, coloring pages, there's scriptures, because at the end of every chapter, there's a QR code. And that QR code can be scanned by the reader, and it sends them to a private link in my website. And so they're gonna have all the resources. We counted it the other day, there's 248 resources on the website to be able to partner with each chapter to meet you, the reader, where you're at, to give you added support. It's my favorite part about the book, because it's taking the information that someone is reading and really personalizing it and allowing God to fill that space of pain and bring healing in a way that I don't believe the readers are even expecting. So.
Well, and I want to make sure people know, like I mentioned, you have traveled to different churches. I know you've spoken at different women's conferences and things, and this is hopefully, I think, more doors are going to be open for you in 2026. So if anyone is interested and wants to hear more about maybe some of the things that you do, what's the best way to reach out and get a hold of you?
Okay, so you can reach me www.nataliesouthward, it's South, and then WARD.com. To purchase the book, you can get it off of Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, but to personally connect, it's nataliesouthward.com.
Well, I just can't thank you enough. And again, it's been so fun as a friend to see what God has done in your life. And I just know he's just getting started. This is just the beginning.
Amen.
So it's been a pleasure to walk beside you and see some of this that's been happening. And I'll be excited to see what's to come in 2026. All right. Well, as we mentioned, Natalie's book is out now, and you can find it on the website, Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. So thank you so much again, Natalie. And thank you at home for tuning in tonight. If you have any questions about what you saw tonight or anything on CTN, just go to ctnonline.com. Again, I'm Carley Boyette, and I look forward to seeing you next week right here on your Christian Television Network.